You're listening to the Limitless Leadership Podcast, the podcast designed to help automotive repair shops learn how to lead, coach, train, and manage their team better by sharing proven techniques and thought-provoking interviews from industry leaders. Are you ready to transform your leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results? Let's get ready for liftoff. It's time to go from great to greater. Here's today's episode.
All right, leaders, whether you're running a shop, leading a team, or leveling up in your career, you know details matter. And if you're like me, that includes keeping your beard on point. That's why I trust the Bearded Brotherhood. Their beard oils, beard balms, and mustache waxes, among other, are made with all natural ingredients, no junk, no shortcuts, just top-tier quality that keeps my beard looking sharp and feeling great. And let's talk scents. Whether it's their best-selling Woodsman or my personal favorite, Lone Stranger, the Bearded Brotherhood keeps me smelling fresh and my beard stays soft all day. If you take your beard game seriously, this is the stuff that you need. And because you're part of the Limitless Leadership podcast family, I've got a deal for you. Just visit thebeardedbrotherhood.co/lead15 to grab your favorite products and get 15% off in the process, because a great leader deserves a great beard. Now, back to today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Limitless Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Parnell, and before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you need to on social media to help grow this channel and reach more people and build leaders. That's our mission. And speaking of mission, I'm joined today by a fantastic guest, a man on a mission. Our guest today is the Executive Director for the ASTA. Our guest is Mr. Ryan Ragan. Ryan, thanks for being here.
It's truly my pleasure. We were finally able to get this together. We've missed for about a week or two, but I'm so glad we were able to put this together. So
I am too, Ryan, and it's not an understatement, man. You really are on a mission. You are the new executive director for the ASTA, and I know that there's a lot going on, a lot of changes you're making, a lot of positive changes, positive direction you're really taking this company in an industry that desperately needs it. And so we're going to get into that today. But before we do, I'm going to ask that you share with our audience who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
Well, again, Ryan Ragan, I didn't come out of the automotive industry. I've worked in nonprofit associations most of my life. I was a Marine 100 years ago.
Thank you for your service.
You as well, sir. And so, it's, what I do is, I run businesses. I try to find out what members and associations need, how we can achieve those goals and really promote, the industry as a whole. It's always easy to say I'm only focused on my members, but you're also promoting the industry as a whole. So you can lose sight of these things. I'm just a person that, again, I came out of international business development and Medicare and healthcare and then biomedical for years and years, and then international trade associations. So a lot of stuff in Europe, things like that. And you get to see a different perspective on how they do things, how we do things, some good, some not so good. I think you can take some good out of any situation if you pay attention. And I think you can always nitpick and find something to complain about. But, I'm a pretty straightforward, straight shooter. A lot of people tell me I have a big personality, but I'm a person that likes to get things done. I've kind of made my career that if you've got a problem, I'll come fix it. And we're going to lay the groundwork. You're going to build the foundation. We're going to have clear, defined goals, and we're going to move forward and we're going to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, everything you're sharing, Ryan, I think is again desperately needed in the industry. I'm hearing a lot of, like, the phrase that comes to mind is take action, take action, take action.
You have to take action. It's, look, everybody's a great quarterback on the sidelines.
Preach. Absolutely right.
Walk out on the field and start throwing the ball.
Well, let me ask you, like, what do you think it is that prevents people from taking action that they know that needs to get taken?
I think a lot of it's fear. I think a lot of it is just not having the knowledge, the expertise. They don't want to fail. They don't want to look like fail, which is very frustrating to me, because if you don't fail, you're never going to succeed. I mean, that's been said a million times in quotes in different books, but it's really the truest statement you're probably ever going to hear. I was a big wrestler when I was young, and I have a lot of friends that wrestle still, and I have, friends that have kids that wrestle. And one of them always sharing stuff with me on social media about his son. He lost today. And I'm always telling him, he didn't lose. He's learning how to win. Go back, process this, and you're learning how to win.
Yes.
And you don't get caught like that again, and you won't, because you're learning what you did.
That's so
So,
good.
I view it from that perspective.
That's so good. I love the idea of kind of redefining what failure is. I think for a lot of us, we think about failure, and if we fail at something, that makes us a failure. If we lose, it makes us a loser, and that's not the case. Like, those actions don't become our identity. And so if we can redefine the fact that exactly what you said, in order to be successful, you're gonna fail. We're gonna fail a lot of times, and
And that's the acronym. The failure acronym: first attempt in learning. And
Yeah,
that's what fail is. It's your first attempt in learning.
yeah, love that.
It happens every day in this industry. We see it. And again, you may be the best tech in the world. That doesn't mean you're going to be the best shop owner. It doesn't translate. That's the old bartender that bought the bar. It's not the same as mixing the perfect drink. You may be the
Yeah,
best at that, but that is not what this is. It's a different animal.
sure.
Just be willing to admit that. I used to tell young managers all the time, because I used to train hundreds of managers across country. And young managers especially, they go in their day, they come home exhausted, they put out 20 fires, and they tell me, I'm exhausted, man. I really worked my tail off today, and they feel accomplished. And my response to it is, well, that's good. Tomorrow you're going to do the same thing, and the next day and the next day. Your job as a manager is to put process procedures in place so you're not putting out the same fires every day.
Yes. Yeah.
That's your job. I'm glad you're tired, and I'm glad you worked hard, but you could not be as tired and get more done.
Yeah. You're not a part-time firefighter. I mean, there's an opportunity for you to define the processes and subsequently grow and develop your people along the way.
That's the beauty of it. Development is the key. That's the key to everything.
Well, Ryan, what got you into the industry? So you talked about what you did beforehand. What drew you to the ASTA to begin with?
I had, it's funny, last year I'd had a surgery and some stuff, and I was kind of, in limbo, and my wife and I were talking, and I saw this opportunity. And so I started researching it, looking up the organization, looking at things. And I guess the word that kept jumping out to me was opportunity. Like, this organization has so much opportunity to make an impact in the industry. And I was looking at it, and I'm thinking, wow, I wonder why they don't have this, or I wonder why they don't do this, or why isn't this on the website, or do they even do this, or why can't a member log in? Where would you go? And so I was always like, I didn't understand it. And I was talking to my wife. I'm like, I got to get into this if I can get into this. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things. I just thought I could help, to be honest, and kind of steer them in a path to kind of modernize it, bring it up, bring a lot more potential benefits to the members, and what they do, and look at the educational aspect of it, and just really kind of revamp it and keep what they built, because the core of it is fabulous. It's all the fringe and the aesthetics of it, and some of the technology that really needed to be amped up.
Sure. Well, anyone who is a part of the ASTA or familiar with the ASTA, we can see the positive changes you're making, and we're excited that you captured that opportunity. So thank you for that. I'll ask you, what's been the biggest surprise you've experienced with this industry? As in, what did you learn that you weren't necessarily expecting or initially expecting?
I was stunned. When you're around a group of business owners, hundreds of them, they've all got their own problems. Everybody's got issues. And even when you're doing great, there's still something, there's going to be something you can be doing, or some issue out there. I was just stunned by the willingness for everybody to help everybody. I really was. I mean, I've been in a lot of industries, and I've seen folks from all over the world, and I've never seen anything like it here. I hadn't even started yet, and I was at the expo last year, after the hurricanes, and everything. We raised $100,000 in one night.
Wow.
To give to these shops.
Yeah.
Just right on the spot. I mean, it was crazy. You're sitting there like, wow, in 30 minutes, we raised $100,000 to put into these shop owners' hands that were affected by this. And so I'm like, okay, well then, like I was saying, I've never seen anybody in our organization shy away from helping somebody in need. And so we travel around, we have regional meetings, and I'll buy dinner for members, non-members, doesn't matter. You can show up. And if you're struggling, we have members there and people that have been there and are now, being very prosperous, and their businesses are running well. And you can sit down and talk to them, and they'll talk shop with you and all day long. And I had a board member she's a great shop owner. She's a great board member. She'd call me the other day, and she's like, I'm on my way out to Wilmington. we have a shop owner out there and she's struggling and I'm going out there, I'm going to sit down, we're going to help get some processes, procedures in place. She's not getting paid for this. She's leaving her own business to go out there. Just the self-sacrifice and the giving, I think, has probably shocked me the most.
That's so amazing. That's that's an abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. And if more of our folks in the industry can adopt that mindset, is this abundance mentality, man, I mean, imagine how much greater and better the industry would be.
Probably my biggest pet peeve is the self-preservation,
Mm,
part of people where I'm doing great, but I'm not going to tell you because
yeah.
then, my funny thing is you do see those people in the industry like, well, he's a competitor, he's going to take my business. He'd have to build 5 shops and hire 50 more techs. There's too many cars.
Yeah,
Like
you're
there's
right.
enough for everybody. It's not that. It's let's help each other out. I tell you what he can do when he's a week back up and he knows who you are and how you do your business. He can send somebody down to you.
Yeah. And vice versa. I mean, it's
And
collaboration, it's
that's
not
it.
competition.
It's funny to me, but that self-preservation is, I don't see it often in the ASTA. I mean, the shops that I deal with and the board members that I talk to, the owners that I deal with, and even the techs, I mean, everybody, they're like, yeah, I'll help. What do you need? And it's just that you don't really see that, well, I'm going to keep my distance. I'm not going to show them how to do this. I'll just keep it to myself. Everybody's willing and open.
So you're already touching on a little bit of the benefits of being a member of the ASTA, but before we dive into that more, if you would share with the audience who doesn't know what the ASTA is, what does AST stand for and what is the organization?
So it stands for the Automotive Service and Tire Alliance. It's based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but we have members, in various parts of the country, from New York to Florida to Texas, Ohio, DC. So you don't have to be here. And tire shops and automotive shops, we have both. It was formed off a couple of groups, the Dealers Association and the Independent Garage Owners and the Tire Dealer Association merged, and that's kind of how this was born. So it's a nonprofit association. We deal with independent shop owners. That's our main thing. And what we do is we try to help in various ways. Our business is to help you get better and grow your business. That's really in a nutshell what it is. And we do that
Love that.
various ways. We've added many, many more here in the last couple of months. We have probably around 27 different, membership programs through various vendors from, Napa to Advanced to, we just got one we're working in with a petroleum organization. We've got them with different coaching groups, different software groups, different things. Your payroll companies, just got ADP on board, that you get discounts and different kinds of plans and services through them if you're a member of ASTA. So we try to save you a few bucks because we know the margins in this business and every penny helps. So, we try to do that. And then, on top of that, we have some events throughout the year. They're educational. We have our big event in September, which is the ASTA Expo. And that's, big this year. It'll be in a new place, downtown Raleigh Convention Center. We have a smaller event coming up over in the Charlotte area, Mooresville at the NASCAR Performance Institute. They were gracious enough to kind of donate that space to us for the event. And that's the Fueling Connections. And that's more of an owner leadership positions there. If you're a shop manager, shop owner, that would be something you'd want to attend. The expo is for everybody. We have classes for owners. We have really, really good classes for techs. Right now, we're in the middle of had a meeting yesterday with the events committee. We're in the middle about, we don't want to be the flashiest show out there. We don't want to be this and that. We want to be known for, hey, it was a great show. It was pretty. And believe me, the Raleigh Convention Center is gorgeous if you've been there. I mean, it's going to be state-of-the-art building. Don't get me wrong. We still like to keep it kind of down home, kind of our Southern kind of charm thing. But we want to be known as this is where you go if you want the best training.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And so we want people to understand that we think, and we're really pushing to strive for, and we want the community to think we have the best training in the industry.
Love that. So you said that the ASTA's business is to help you get better and grow your business. If I'm listening and if I'm a shop owner, I mean, how could I not want to be a part of something like that?
Yeah, and from a fiscal perspective, look, it's not breaking the bank.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a shop owner, you've got one location, you can give me a call. It's $350 for the year to sign up. And
For the
the
year.
value you'll get off of that just through some of our programs, it already paid for it.
Yeah.
But we want to keep adding programs. We're very picky about that, though, who we bring in. We try to bring in a couple of two from kind of each segment. So, because people have different styles, we have a couple different coaching companies because they have different coaching styles and people respond to different things. And then, above all of that, of discounts and shows and this and that, it's like I said, ASTA is where shops become members and members become family. It is the networking. Our networking at the expo and just everyday networking is just beyond. I've never seen anything like it. Just the constant outreach, the constant communication. You can call me up, members can call my cell phone, doesn't matter. You need help something, you call me. If I don't know, I'll find somebody that does know and we'll move on.
Sure.
My staff, Jessie, does an amazing job. She's all over the place, just all over the place. And, you can get her, we'll figure it out for you. You tell us where you're at, we'll find somebody that can help you. That's how we kind of view it. It's kind of nice that way that we're not such a large association, from a staff and just conglomerate. We're not corporate. We're folks just like you, and if we help you, I mean, that's really what it is.
And having attended the ASTA Expo myself last year, it does have that family feel. I love how inclusive things were and how things felt. I like hearing that you're nitpicky because I was humbled and honored to be chosen as one of your trainers for the upcoming Fueling Connections event. So thank you again, Ryan, for that opportunity. I'll ask you, what is Fueling Connections? I know you just touched on it. It's a leadership owner kind of intensive, but what is it and what could someone expect from attending that event?
Like I said, it's primary for leaderships, management, ownership. People can expect from that event, you're going to be surrounded by other shop owners, other shop managers, people that have been where you are or wanting to get where you are. And so, they've been at the bottom. Some of them have rose and have some very successful things. Our panels are full of just some very prominent people in the industry that have been in it for a long time, and they all have kind of some different views on it. We have different styles, different methodologies mixed in our panels. So we're going to try to do, we want some audience involvement, things like that. So you got questions, we want them to be asked. We want the feedback. We want the mic going around. And you can expect to come out of there with a lot of knowledge about what it is to be a leader in a shop, how it is, what communication really looks like in a shop. And that's difficult for a lot of people. And even for shop managers, first-time shop owners, this will help you kind of get a grasp on what your culture should look like, what a leadership style is, what leadership actually means, what management actually means. Leadership, management, completely different things. So people have to understand that and how you get from here to there. It's going to help kind of plant those seeds. You'll be introduced to a lot of folks that you can then build off this plant and keep moving forward. And you'll make friends for life at this event. You will make, friends for life, different shop owners that you can pick up the phone and call anytime you want. And like I said, we're going to have you there talking about, leadership, communicate. These are the things that you need to have. And, a lot of people in shops don't understand, especially managers, shop managers. You've been working in that shop for 6 years, and all of a sudden you're the shop manager. You've been working with all these other techs 3, 4, 5 years. Now you're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky thing to wrap your head around because you're their buddy. You're one of them. You guys are out last Friday night. This Friday, you're the boss.
That's right.
How do you adjust that and how do you communicate that and still expect them to respect you and get done what needs to be done? And these are the type of classes that can help you get there. If you're a new shop owner that, maybe you're not an automotive guy, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you had some money, you saw an opportunity here, you had some friends that were techs, hey, let's go out and start a shop. How do you navigate that? Because it's not a business for the faint of heart, and this will help you navigate those resources.
That's so good. One of the topics I'm specifically focusing on is the transition from player to coach. I call it from player to coach because it's different. Like you said, it's significantly different, but we don't know that. And I'll be joined by the amazing Lola Schmidt. She's also doing a session on your business, elevate it through branding and processes. And she is great at what she does as well. I'll ask you, Ryan, 2-part question. Actually, let me backtrack. Before I ask this question, you mentioned leadership and management. I like the fact that you've identified there is a difference. Can you speak to the difference and what it means to you?
For me, a manager is a person that just ensures a process or a procedure is done, that the I is dotted, this form is filled out, this is done. The leader is the one that creates these processes. He is the grand wizard above it all. He understands. He's the one that communicates the game plan. He is the one that communicates what your job is. He has to give you a very clear and defined role in the organization. Your role is not over here. Your role is here, and your role is responsible for this. Then once everybody has their role, a leader has to explain now each one of these roles fits into the overall big picture of what we're trying to accomplish. You may think your role is minuscule, but let me assure you it is not. Without that role, we don't get to where we're going. And it's just, to me, it's a huge thing. I think being a leader, the first thing you got to be is authentic, and you have to be consistent. If you're not those two things, it's probably not ever going to work out for you because that's just the reality of it. I can teach anybody to be a manager. Being a leader is a little different.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm coming to ASTA because it sounds like you got it nailed pat. I mean, that's pretty good what you're delivering.
No, it's good. You're better than me.
Well, man, I'm really excited for the opportunity. So thank you again. I'll go back to the question I began and then I jumped off of, and it's a 2-part question. Number one, what would you say is the biggest change that you've been able to play a part in with the ASTA? And subsequently, what's the biggest change that is coming that we don't know about yet?
I think the biggest change, for me, it's a small staff, was just letting them understand, there's who we are and what we're going to be, not being content with, hey, we're just the ASTA, we'll never be ASA or ACA or this or that. Or, Dabo Sweeney, when he took over as a Clemson interim coach, he was an interim coach sitting in a meeting with all the, the athletic directors, everybody else. And they're all talking about, well, we're not going to be Alabama. We should focus on this. And he said, he was a nervous wreck. But he said, I didn't even know how long I'd have this job. But he said, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. And I just stood up and said, why shouldn't we try to be Alabama? And, why are we going to settle for mediocrity? Why are we going to do this? And I think that's the biggest thing, was letting them know that, hey, and the board was already there. I think it was just getting the procedures in place with the staff to where we're going to go. The mentality of the board was always there.
Yeah.
Look, we want to grow. We want to get better. We want to do things better. We want to provide more to our members. And it was just getting the steps in place. So that was huge. Right now we're in the middle of redefining kind of our website, building a member portal where you're logging in. I mean, as we speak, it's happening. And where members will be able to log in and just access things that only they'll have access to. We've never had that. That's never been a part of the association. So that was a big thing from a technology perspective we need to do. Some things that are coming, like I said, we're working on. Once you're into that, there'll be some online education for members that you can take. Hey, maybe you're a 1-bay, 2-bay shop. You don't have HR directors. You don't have any of that. Mm-hmm. You want to onboard somebody. You want to give them the OSHA, what training. You want to learn how to set a jack. We'll have videos for that. Set them down, log into your portal, put them in front of it. Hey, now they're onboarded. Now you can start teaching them the culture of your shop and those types of things. And, we're doing a lot more webinars this year. We'll do even more next year. And they're not just any webinars, they're finance and budget webinars. They're different types of things. Marketing webinars. You can walk in 10 shops and ask them what their marketing spend is. Maybe 8 or 2 can tell you, 8 wouldn't know. And so if you don't know your marketing spend, what's it cost you to acquire a customer? And then what's that customer spend? How does all that relate? We got to teach them how to be a whole business owner.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do that. The ASTA Expos this year, it will be different. We've never had a theme. We will have some kind of themes this year and next.
Okay.
Process of planning next year is we're planning simultaneously.
Okay.
So I can tell you, in speaking to training, the page will be launched here in a few days, hopefully about a week, hopefully, the registration page. It'll look completely different, much more modernized, much more streamlined, smooth, efficient to register. But yeah, our training, in our opinion, is out of this world. So we're going to kind of have a UFO kind of alien theme.
Okay.
Kind of running around. You'll see maybe some extraterrestrials at the show. I don't know. But yeah, we believe our training's out of this world. And so we're going to kind of play on that. And then we've got some good stuff in store. I'll share with you privately about next year and some ideas I'm having. But no, we wanted to kind of create a buzz and do some things since we're moving to the new convention center and really kind of dive into it. And everybody right now in pulp culture is are we alone? Are there UFOs out there?
Yeah, yeah.
You'll love the t-shirts. They'll blow your mind this year.
That's awesome.
Really
I'm
fun.
excited for that. I'm a big believer in this concept of blue to black. Blue to black is like, we think about like the sky is the limit, but I'm going to say, the sky is that's the floor. Like the blue to black is when we're going from the sky to out of this world, like just truly separating ourselves from the norm, or maybe even from the above average. Like, how can we be the upper echelon, the top 1%ers of anyone and everyone who does this?
And it's crazy, it's not like we haven't seen this throughout the history either, what was I just went blank, ran the first 4-minute mile,
Oh, Roger Bannister.
advanced,
Yeah.
leading up to that, if you ever go back and look at the history of it, doctors said it wasn't possible. Your heart would
Hmm.
explode, all this. I believe it was the year after he did it, 47 people did it.
Wow.
And because they seen it done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think ASTA and our expo and things like that and our training is we're trying to show out shop owners this can be done.
Sure.
We've got people that have done it. We will get you there. All you
Yeah.
got to do is reach out your hand, grab a hold. We're going to pull you along the way. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, we have the formula. We've seen it, how it works. So, if you'll come, you'll listen, you'll learn, you'll implement, be humble, be open to being coached, you'll make it.
Love that. If you're watching the episode or if you're listening to the episode, I'm going to encourage you to watch this episode on YouTube. Again, it's at The Bearded Leader. But the motion I'm making with my hands right now is we kind of operate within this box or this circle. And through coaching and counseling and mentoring and asking questions and perspective shifting, because with perspective, the way that we view things drives the way that we do things. You look up and months go by, and you realize that scope that you were looking at, which the scope was significantly smaller and the lens was not clear at all. Now it's a lot bigger and much more clear. And when you can get in a room of like-minded people who are there for the same reason, they're all striving for better. They're all learning and growing and developing together. Multiple minds are better than one, where we can truly go out of this world, blue to black kind of mentality, this abundance mindset. It's amazing what happens to your perspective when you can realize, hey, that 4-minute mile, that's actually something that is pretty achievable if I just put in the work and take action.
That's it. And I mean, it goes back to who you surround yourself with. I mean, if you hang out, with shop owners that are all struggling, that are all, barely making it, that are clawing their turnovers through the roof, they don't know their marketing spend, what are you gaining from them?
Yeah.
Start surrounding yourself with those folks that, hey, yeah, mine used to be that way. Let me tell you what we did. Here's how I got out of this. You
Yeah.
start hanging around those folks, every day you're going to learn something. Every day you're going to learn.
Ryan, you and I are both Ed Milet fans. Something he says often is that things are often caught, not taught.
That's
And
it.
this is the importance of, like what you're saying, surround yourself with people who are going to speak truth into your life and to help you grow and develop. Speaking of that, let's talk about coaches, mentors. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received from a coach or a mentor?
That's tough. For me, oh man. I think probably, the best thing for me at the time when I heard it was, you're not Superman. You can't do everything. You got to learn to delegate.
Yeah.
Got to learn to trust the people around you. If you develop them the right way and give them trust and empower them, everything's going to get better. You can't do it all. Because when I was a young guy, I did it all. I mean, it's just easier for me to do it myself. Trust me, I'll just do it myself. I'll do this, I'll do that. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And, I was paying all these people to do nothing.
Yeah.
Because I was doing it. And, and he just kind of shifted my mindset and said, hey, start training them, teach them to be like you. How would you do this? How did you get here? But he said, also listen to their feedback. They may have a way to get to the same result. And so, him just telling me, that I wasn't Superman at the time probably helped me a lot. But then again, later, a guy I worked with for years and years and years was just be yourself, be authentic, be who you are. Don't try to be something that people are going to see through it. They're not going to buy in. They're not going to believe it. And you just got to be who you are. Let your personality out there and be who you are.
Love that. Yeah. We connect through authenticity, humility, and vulnerability. And when we can truly connect with people, that's what creates more engagement and subsequently increases performance. Ryan, I'll ask you a question dating back to your Marine days. What's something that you've taken from that season of life into your civilian life that's really helped you grow and develop as a civilian?
I don't believe anything's impossible. I don't quit. The minute you tell me I can't do something, I'll go out and do it just to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
It's just, Marines were very stubborn. They tell you, nobody can take that hill. We're going to go take that hill.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that I have gotten, probably softer on is, I don't want to lose all the men on that hill, taking that hill. So, you figure out different tactics, I think. But no, I think for me, it's just tenacity. just the drive and the push, just not being never satisfied. Like that's probably one of my biggest, my wife would probably tell you too, and a couple of friends of mine, that's probably my biggest weakness. I'm never satisfied. I'm happy and I'll celebrate all wins for my people. Me personally, inside, I'm thinking we can do more. We can do more.
Yeah.
We can do more.
Well, and the thing is, it's like you're content, but you're not comfortable. Like you're happy with what's happening, but you're going to stay out of that comfort zone for the sake of growing and developing. And by the way, just looking at you, that answer doesn't surprise me. So if you're not watching this episode, Ryan is jacked. Like, Ryan, here's a question for you. What do you bench press?
Well, I'm actually a little out of shape right now. I haven't been in some weeks now, but no, when I do kind of what they call a modified German volume training. So I'll do back to back. So I'll do 10 sets of 10, regardless of what I do. So I'll go in, I'll do 10 sets. So I'll do 10 reps, 10 times, 320 on a bench. Then I'll switch media and do like 60, 65-pound curls. Then I'll rest 90 seconds, do it again.
Wow. Okay.
So I've done it 10 times. Then I'll move on to something else, like maybe it'll be flies, and then, then I'll do hammer curls with the flies, but 10 sets of 10, everything I do.
Okay. So if you're in the same gym as Ryan and you're looking to use the bench press, he'll be on it for about 20 minutes before you have a turn.
That's it. That takes me about 20 minutes to do 10 sets.
Okay.
23 sometimes. Depends how tired I am.
Yeah. Well, good deal, man. Ryan, thanks again for jumping on the Limitless Leadership podcast. My last question is, how can our audience get in touch with you?
You can go on the ASTA website. Obviously, my contact info is on there. You can email me at ryan.ragn@astausa.org. That's just ryan.ragan@astausa.org. You can reach me. I mean, I don't care. You guys can call the office 919-322-0609. If you got an emergency, something out there in your shop world, call my cell. I don't care. 732-621-3822. It doesn't really bother me. I'm here to help people. We're here to try to make this stuff grow. And I'll tell you had said you're an Ed Mylett fan, and I'll tell you something. One of the things he said in one of his talks one time, and I'll probably misquote it a little bit, was that when he gets to heaven, Jesus is going to introduce him to the version that he was created to be, the version of himself he's created to be. I would challenge shop owners, to your families, your friends, your staff, everybody around you. What version of a shop owner do you think they want you to be? And try to get to that point. Because
that's so good.
Your wife, your kids, everybody, these people are counting on you, your friends, your parents. Think about the version that they would expect you to be in that shop and kind of strive to get there.
Hey, that is a high note worth ending this episode on. Like, that is spot on. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, I want more of this, I want to be a part of the ASTA or at least learn more about it, I'm encouraging you, get out to Mooresville, North Carolina, April 11th and April 12th. Come to the Fueling Connections event. You will not be disappointed. All right, Ryan. Well, hey, again, thank you so much. Hopefully this is not, in fact, this will not be, I'm just calling it. This is not going to be your last time on the podcast. So thank you for joining me.
Love to do it again.
Awesome. And every episode, we look to transform our leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results. So thank you again for being here. Don't forget to smile today. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. I'm Josh Parnell, reminding you to keep leading well.